Good evening. A message from the captain. I thought that I would do my blog. I was trying to hopefully have something exciting to blog about today. And so since I don't, I'm going to open up with a very important, thought I should share with all those people who watch and don't subscribe as well as the ones that do. Just based on the last 24 hours of videos I watched from a lot of really popular YouTubers over here. Guys from the UK, guys from America, guys from Canada. I've noticed a very similar message in what they're saying. It's almost like everyone's on some sort of talking point loop where one started it and everyone else felt they had to do the same sort of video. So I'm gonna just make the statement. You don't owe 0 women a better life. 0. Let me just say it again. You don't owe, it's not your job to make some woman's life better over here. It's not. I mean, you got to be able to say no. You weren't born to be some female's retirement plan, be that here, be that back home. So if you're somehow free all of a sudden in your 40s or 50s to go and remarry so another broad can sponge off what's left of your kingdom is just crazy, right? You're not here to fix her past. These guys who come over and trying to save a single mom, you're not a therapist, you're not her savior, you're not her father figure. They don't want to learn from you. You're just a man as a resource to drain, right? So don't be a man, who is a resource to drain. Like, you have to say no. You have to think about your own perspective. I'm not saying that you don't ever need help or do something nice occasionally. The guys who hate on me because I come over here with no money and blah, 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 and I'm working and I'm budgeting and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Yeah, I'm doing it for me and my kid. I have a kid over here, which I willingly did that. I want children. That's the whole point. If I wasn't having kids, why on earth would I be donating anything to this economy? These people don't know how to manage money. They're children, no matter how old they are. So when I talk to guys who are in their 60s who are dating some 40-year-old woman whose kids are all grown up and they're still spending money buying and building them houses, you know who you are. You're effing crazy. You think it's buying you loyalty and love. It's not. You might as well just go fucking have a prostitute. I mean, realistically, that's all you're getting from these people is sex. Maybe they cook you the odd meal. But like these guys who are tied at the hip to their woman, who go everywhere with their woman, who spend all of their pension every single month on their woman and her family, they don't even have savings. It blows my mind. Blows my mind. Just how crazy that concept is. Love is not that hard to find. Relationships are not that hard to find. Yeah, sure, you can get a better woman over here than back home, but it's the same shit, different stink. I mean, the reality is you have to be always, once you're 40 and over, thinking about yourself. And maybe your kids, but you gotta be thinking about yourself, because part of the reason why I came over here with next to nothing is I just had to get out of the West. I just can't freaking stand how it's gotten over there. It's gotten ridiculously stupid, and the people who are allowing it to get that way and staying there, who even have the audacity to try and judge us guys who come over here, it's like, shut the frick up. You're part of the problem, not part of the solution, and your opinion has 0 value. You're still over there paying 60% taxes, letting fucking pronouns be the order of the day, or if you're in Britain, you say something bad on the YouTube or on the Twitter or Facebook, they'll put you in jail. Like, what are you talking about? Any sane person should be smart enough to get the heck out of Dodge. But that's right, many of you lined up for the jab. You're still getting boosters. You're still wearing masks. Like, you just can't justify that level of stupidity and then try to tell people what they should be doing. Like, that's the blind trying to describe to me a beautiful work of art. I'm sorry, you're fucking blind, bro. You don't get to have an opinion on what the art piece looks like because you ain't never seen it. Maybe you saw it before you lost your eyesight, perhaps. But I mean, it's just so crazy the kinds of things I'm seeing on these other blogs. And they're getting good chits. There's Sims lined up around the block to clap with these guys like seals at a circus show. The reality is you are not here, you shouldn't be here, to piss away your life savings and your retirement on some piece of ass. That is crazy. Especially if you're in your later years. Your cock barely works. Let's be honest with each other here, folks. If you're from the North American area and you're in your 50s or 60s and you had a great life before, it shit don't work because you did too much blow or you're just fat and diabetic. Pussy should not even be your priority at that stage. Just living a comfortable life over here, which you can easily do with the tiniest of North American pensions. Even if you, like me, come over here with nothing. At least you're getting a check every month. I don't get checks every month. But I gotta make my own thing, right? I have skills. Today I worked on my van and flipped and rotated a bunch of tires because they were all on the wrong way. So I was getting reverse traction, reverse tread wear, because the Filipino people don't pay attention. They don't maintain their crap. So if you're buying something off of them, know that it's been run through hard, just like the women. I mean, you have to ask yourself why you're here. And I mean, if you're here to just piss away your retirement and donate it to some family over here so that they then drop you at the curb, there are a lot of homeless white dudes over here. I'm not going to even put the white word in there. Let's just say there's a lot of homeless Westerners, because I actually met a few that are a bit darker. Even with a pension. But they lose their wallet, they lose their cards, they don't have any ability to, get their shit together. They're falling into the bottle because they're heartbroken. I hate to sound like sad grandpa. I don't know why he's sad. Maybe he's depressed too. I mean, he definitely speaks a lot of hate, so he's got some psychological issues too. And you're right. Just like part A of the van adventure, I have learned that a good chunk of other Westerners who do come over here have emotional and mental issues. I have emotional issues. I mean, I'm a cold son of a bitch, according to anybody who knows me, right? Because I do think about me. I have no problem taking care of my kid. And my other kids, when they were younger, they always had clothes. They always had toys. I mean, shit, my farm has, and I'm not lying here, probably about $50,000 in Legos between the 5 kids over the years, over the 20 years. Do you know what I mean? We would go to game cons and I would drop $500 or $600 every time. Or, Christmas, I dropped 2 or 3K in Lego because it's a universal toy that both boys and girls can love. You can constantly keep playing with it. If they lose one little piece, it doesn't matter because you've got so many sets, right? And I loved Lego as a kid. Maybe that's why I'm a builder and I can fix stuff and I know about stuff now. But, you owe 0 women a better life over here. You're supposed to be coming over here for you to have a better life, not to be broke as fuck. Even though your pension lets you really live like a king over here, you should have the ability to start saving $500, $600, $700 a month, so you have a beautiful nest egg. So if you do go back to the west, sorry, the bug on the wall, you can do so once a year and fly nicely. Spend time in a hotel instead of couching on some family member's thing. But if you're over here and you're blowing every penny you're sent by the government on your pension every single month, you're no better off. And what if you do have to go back and you still have nothing and your pension is still shit over there? So it's like one of these things where, and they can get you kicked out and deported at any time. At any time. All they have to do is say you threatened them, or you yelled at them, or you hit them. Even if you didn't, they don't require evidence over here. We don't require evidence in Canada or America either. So you people think that you gotta, they're gonna have proof. Please, that is so 1980s. In the modern world, if some fucker complains about you and goes to the cops and makes a bogus statement, you're lawyering up. And that lawyer's not gonna be cheap. And sure, you're going to win after trial, but you got bled out, didn't you? You had to give that lawyer money. You had to go through any kind of public shame if it was a domestic situation or if it was a sexual situation, heaven forbid. And I'm talking a common thing over there. Because part of the situation of why most of us who have left, at least in my perspective, is we get sick of that kind of shit. I'm not going to tolerate that. I'm not going to keep living in a system, the West, that is built for me to fail. Doesn't matter, and I'm skilled. I got a whole bunch of degrees. That's why I can come here with $3,000 and succeed. And that's all I came with. There's no $3,000 a month. There's no extra top up every month. And I'm not worried. Sure, yeah, I'm broke right now because I just bought a van. I'll flip my bike and I'll be okay again. The bar will pick up. I'll be okay. I can buy and sell stuff because I can buy a motorbike and fix it up. I can buy a bicycle even and fix it up. I had to go and drop money on tools today. I maxed out my credit card buying sockets and wrenches and stuff because realistically I'm going to need that, right? I had a good day at the bar yesterday. I made enough to cover all the groceries, all the stock I bought for the bar for this week. Tomorrow I've got a few advanced orders for fish and chips because I'm trying to collect UK people, Brits, who actually like a decent fish and chip. I do a beer batter and I do it from scratch, blah, blah. They don't get that here. These people, they cook the whole goddamn fish, bones and scale and all, on a stick. And you gotta pick all that shit out. Most of us don't want that. If you're an old dude, you can't be choking on bones eating some fucking fish. And fish is very healthy for you, hence the reason I do sell that in Canada. And I have the clients I have over there. So, which will keep me going every summer. I go home, that's fine, it sucks. But you know what? I've talked to many other expats here in San Carlos at least, and they're in the same boat. They go home every 6 to 8 months for 4 or 5 months to recharge their batteries because they're in countries with governments that force them to go back to keep their tiny ass pensions going. So it's one of these things that I'm not in that boat. I don't have to go back. I have to go back for monetary reasons. So yes, once the show is done, the cartoon I'm working on, I won't have to anymore. I will still because I love my original family and my original kids. And as much as they originally voted me off the island, they all regretted that. That 18 months when Dad was gone and not giving it, I gave them their space like they wanted. And it's like a jilted ex who kicks you out. Well, when the grass isn't greener on the other side, they come calling back, right? So for me, I don't want to be back there because they're in Canada and Canada now sucks. I hate to say it. You can be one of the people who watches the channel from there who says, no, Canada's still great. No, it's not. You're just deluding yourself. America's getting better because they finally got a president who gives a shit, who isn't, bought and sold by the swamp. And people say, oh, I got the Rangers. I don't want to hear your crazy shit. Unless you can articulate why you have a problem, your opinion has zero value. I'm sorry, And government should be run like a business. This way it's not just bleeding ink and supporting people that don't want to put gin and chip in, right? The reason why, and I'm not there yet, but I'm getting close. If you reach 50 years old and you still don't understand basic concepts of society and life, you're never gonna. You're gonna be doomed. And to come over here and go and live on $1,000 is very doable, very, very doable. And most pensions are more than that. But let's just stick with the original point there. You're going to live on $1,000. Well, you can do it out in the country, out in the province, sure. And if you come by with a little bit of savings when you first come, say only $10,000, well, that's more than enough to set you up with a house, set you up with a new bike or a used piece of crap vehicle like what I've grabbed, and still keep some for an emergency or the hospital thing. If you're older, you need that shit. And I strongly, I hope I said that enough, but I'm really putting the point home. If you're over 55, you'd be an idiot to not have health insurance over here. There's this guy, I follow his channel, I've been on his channel a few times, and he did these 5 points that you just have to have. And he's right, healthcare, if you're an older person, absolutely effing mandatory, because the healthcare here will be what kills you and sends you home. Where it not just kills you because it's a bad healthcare, but also kills you because it's ridiculously expensive. And if you're already living pension to pension because you've allowed some woman and her family to drain you into fucking oblivion every month, then you don't have that emergency million pesos for a basic leg fix or a basic artery fix or any of those things that happen to a poor motherfucker once he reaches 60 and hasn't taken care of himself. And I've met a lot of guys over here who come over here and they're like juice monkey guys. They're still working out every day. They're in great shape and they're 50. You still get fucking heart attacks. And did you get the jab? You probably did. That being said, you watch all the athletes who just pop off dying left, right, and center or back home. All jabbers. That shit can happen to you here too. So, there is no way to guarantee your health. I mean, I can't because I didn't take the fucking jab. And I have a really ridiculously high constitution score, so I'm a healthy motherfucker. I had pneumonia last time. People who watches the video who've been on the channel for years know I did. I had pneumonia for like 4.5 months because I won't go to the doctors here. And they won't let you make antibiotics yourself here. They don't let you do that in Canada either because, you know, you got to buy it from Big Farm. But it's one of these things where I just suffered through it, you know, and I got it from a dirty aircon because you rent a hotel here, and even if it's a nice one, they don't maintain shit. They cut every corner they can. And it's not because they can't afford to. It's just like I know people in Canada, I have family in Canada, they're making damn good money. There's no reason for them to be living in the squalor and poverty level standards that they are. It's that they choose to. They put their money in the wrong places. And that comes back to what I said. If you're spending your pension that you get every month to nil, every month, trying to play the big league, trying to help her family, trying to give her everything she wants, you're crazy. And it's gonna bite you in the ass. I just keep watching it happen on channels I've been watching for years now, and watching how things have started to boil south for a lot of these guys. And some of them are here on their third or fourth try. Sure, it's that UK guy. Hey, Steve, how you doing? You know, now he's finally kind of understands how to do it. But they liquidated him 3 or 4 times before he got his groove, right? So don't be one of those guys. Say no. Don't share all your details with them about how much you're making and what you get. And have a secret stash account. If you're getting a pension of $1,500, you tell her you're getting a pension of $1,000. Save $500 a month. This means you have a little nest egg that you get stuck going home. You at least have money for first and last on an apartment if you're back home. Or if you're just visiting, you can at least pay for a shittier but still clean hotel back home while you're visiting. You know? I mean, I went home with fuck all. I arrived back in Canada when I left Jansan with $14 to my name. And I had nobody to help me when I first got there. I couldn't even buy a sandwich when I landed in Calgary. Like, I was that broke because the Subway sandwich was 15 and up, where I was like, fuck. I didn't have credit cards because traditionally I don't believe in them. If you don't have the money, don't spend it. That's been one of my number one rules in my life, and it's why I don't owe nothing, and why I haven't been paying 18 and 20 and 35 and 40% interest. I'm already paying when I work in jobs that I get taxed a lot in Canadian tax dollars. I'm not giving the banks their pound of flesh either. Do you know what I mean? So you have to be that way. If you really want to succeed, especially in the twilight years, unless you already, have a whole shit ton of money, but they'll take that from you. They will figure out ways to bleed you out, even if you have come over here with $200,000 if you're an idiot. They'll take that $200,000. They'll sucker you into buying a $40,000 condo in Cebu or something. You'll think, oh, it's better than paying rent. Is it? My rent's like $200 a month. I've never paid more than $250. That gives me control to move whenever I want. That doesn't tie me to anything. And if I can't put it in my bag and fly away with it, I don't want it. Now the car, fine, because I can flip that at least for the amount for a plane ticket home. I definitely didn't pay a plane ticket home for it. So it's one of these things where you have to ask yourself, what are you doing? Why are you leaving the West? I mean, I think it's fucking no-brainer. Leave the West because you want to be able to enjoy your twilight years. You don't want to live among a bunch of junkies and drug addicts and and low-level welfare recipient people who will just rob you and scam you, just like here. The difference is here, at least there's guards everywhere, so you can walk around and you're safe. You can't do that in Toronto. You can't do that in Ottawa at night. You can't do that in Montreal in sections. Like, don't get me started on the west, like Vancouver or Calgary or Edmonton. At least, actually, Calgary and Edmonton are a little bit better if you're in certain neighborhoods. Sherwood Park or things like that. But, and I don't even want to know how it is. Like, let's be realistic. The reason why Trump is sending in all of these guards to these blue-run cities is they're effing war zones. The people who live in them are pretty much hostages in their homes come dark. And I mean, if you look at what happened in Colorado, yeah, there was immigrant gangs literally taking over whole city blocks there. If you go into Europe, France has been overrun. Whole sections of Paris and the south of France, the gender arm do not go into. And you won't hear that on the news because it goes against their narrative. They put Duterte, the former president here of the Philippines, in the Hague right now because he did what needed to be done. You want to fight the war on drugs? Well, it starts with executing drug dealers. And no, they don't need a 10-year trial. I mean, I think they should have a little bit more than he gave because he would just have them literally pulled out of their drug houses and shot. Okay. At least drug test them first. If you catch them with the product and you've got that on several cops, chest scams, yeah, okay, take them back and shoot them. It's a $10 bullet. It's well better than spending all that money on a justice system that's failed. Plain and simple. And I don't like the idea of housing people for 60 years because we don't want to kill them. Well, it's not fair to me as a taxpayer. I'm paying to feed them and clothe them for the next 40 years till they die in natural causes? Hell no. So you have a choice when you reach 45, 50, if you're all of a sudden single and all of a sudden reasonably free to leave. And you are free to leave. I don't want to get into Sunday's sermon, but this week it's going to be on greed. Because a lot of you who are staying there are doing it for greed. You think you're going to save enough if you stay there longer. I'll work another 5 more years. I'll fix up that car and sell it for full value. No, you won't. Because you're going to spend more money living there than you're making. And definitely a lot more than you'd be saving if you got out now. It's like here. I mean, if I had to choose the number one reason why I think expats should be leaving their homelands of Europe, Australia, North America, it is that it is very cheap to live here and it is safe. What else do you really need to be thinking about after you reach 50s if you're all of a sudden divorced and alone? And this goes for women too. Your man leaves you for some new young tart there. She's probably a junkie and she's going to turn him into a crackhead soon. I've seen that happen a lot back home. Holy shit. Guys who were amazing, had great lives, owned auto shops, ran companies, real estate agents. They drove nice new cars. They had a great life. And then they fucked it up for some young tail over there who got them into drugs because they want to keep her happy. And it's not so bad to try it. Oh, look, I'm losing weight because of it. They justify it. They justify it. Now, those guys aren't going to make it over here. But the women that they leave behind, the women that they dumped or kicked out, or who left them because she found out, oh, you're fucking a bunch of crack whores and prostitutes, I don't want you. I don't blame you, lady. Get your ass out of Canada, too. This is not a message just to dudes. However, same thing. You, as a female from the West, owe 0 men over here a better life. You come over here and think about you. If you want to be a crazy cat lady here, there's 1 billion cats outside every door. You can befriend them, start feeding them, dump $100, which is unlimited amounts of food over here for cats, and you have your own little cat colony. You want to have a nice race car over here or a nice motorbike over here, you can as an older broad, no problem. You want to spend all day swimming, snorkeling, tanning, getting back in shape? Let's be realistic. A lot more women look like shit in their 40s and beyond than the men. We age better. And that's part of the depression women in the West have. You will lose that depression if you come over here because you're going to be eating cleaner. You're going to be doing more physical activities. You're going to be living in the heat, which melts off the fat. And you're not going to be dealing with the stress of how is your ex doing, because you won't care anymore. So even the women should think about seriously coming on over. But for dudes, let me just say it again, you owe 0 women a better life. There, here, anywhere. The idea that any dude gets remarried after 50 is freaking insane. Insane. There is 0 benefits. Oh, I got a better visa. That's me jerking it, because that's what it is. It's a fucking jerk off answer. A visa over here is less than 550 Canadian dollars per year. You're telling me somehow a marriage is cheaper than that? No, no. And these women aren't going to leave you because you don't marry them. As long as you're providing their meals and a home and you're not beating them, they'll tolerate it. They'll stay with it because it's better than what they have out there. Once again, though, you don't owe them a better life. If you choose to give them a better life, that's you just being a great guy. However, don't do so at the detriment of your own future. Learn to say no. You know, drugs are bad, okay? Women are a drug for a lot of the guys who come over here. And like I said too, some of the guys in these videos are really effing old. Without old Viagra and Cialis, I'm pretty sure their cock isn't working any more than once a month. So why do you feel the need to carry extra weight of a woman with 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 fucking kids for sex once a month? That's fucking stupid. You can have a local girl, not sexual. I mean, you can make them sexual, but let's just hold off on that, because once again, we go back to that. You don't need that. You're old. Your time is of reprocreating and being the stud are over. You can have a girl come in and clean your fucking house for 300 to 500 pesos a week. Pay her an extra 200 to send her shopping for all your shit. Can pre-make you meals in little Tupperware dishes in your refrigerator. I mean, you can still go out to eat because you can afford it on your pension here. If you don't want to have her cook you food, but at least you can clean your house. There are laundry centers everywhere here that for 200 pesos, you can do 8 kilograms of laundry. 8 kilograms of laundry is a lot of fucking clothes, okay? I do clothes for 3 people. Me, the woman and the baby, 2 sets of sheets. Every week comes to 200 to 300 pesos. So far you're down 600 pesos. Pesos, not dollars. So translate that into whatever freaking currency from wherever you're from. And that's really all you need to spend to have all the amenities outside of sex that you're going to be getting from some live-in woman, some live-in wife. So why are you marrying? So that they can have legal title over your shit? So they can own the house you want to buy or the cars you want to buy? The cars are my name. Well, will be tomorrow. The bike's in my name. I didn't need to have the woman I have to carry me that way, and neither do you. That's part of the lie they tell you over here because they want to see if you're a fucking sucker who won't look into what the rules really are. Just like, you know, I've had friends tell me, you know, you can't run businesses here. You can't do this. You can't have gcash. I have gcash. As you folks know, it's in my description. Throw me a cup of coffee. That's me saying, you have gcash here. And I didn't have to ask my woman for it. I got it because I have businesses. So I want people to be able to pay me because they don't use credit cards or debit cards here in most stores. They use the gcash. And yes, every Westerner can get gcash. But the women here will lie to you and say no, because they'd rather any transactions you're doing, they can monitor by going into their gcash. Oh, send me the money, hon, and I'll take care of it. That's how it starts. Keep your sovereignty. Be master of your own shit. Like this fucking loser guy I knew from immigration, I'd have his woman fill out his papers. The immigration form is one paper and it's ridiculously stupid shit. When did you arrive? When did you last renew? What's the shit I've written on your passport? Why on earth is a grown man in his 50s, and it's all in English by the way, require some woman to do that shit for him? Even if your penmanship is atrocious and you've got a tremor from Parkinson's, you can still fill out a goddamn form. So if you come over here and you're constantly broke every month at the end of the month because they bled you dry. That's a taste of the future. So I don't know why you're marrying that person, to give them even more power over you. Because if they marry you, they can unplug you if you ever got into an accident. Oh, they have power of attorney that way. Great, like I want that. I'm being sarcastic. I don't want that. So I just say, because like I said, I noticed a ridiculously regular trend on the videos that I've seen over the last 2 days. I'm going to end it on this, folks. I think I said enough. I don't like to do these kinds of rants, but I think that there's a huge disservice to the way certain bloggers do their videos and to what they're actually saying and doing. And for folks on the fence back home, it sucks there. So you are going to have a better life here. But you can sabotage yourself hard over here. You can shoot yourself in the foot here, just like you can back home. If you're an idiot simp back home who's staying there, so I need to make more money, I need to make more money, I want to spend time with the kids that don't give a shit about me, I wanna do this, and I'm gonna do that. Pipe dreams. And some of them, it is a pipe dream. They're smoking a crack on the side. But, which is, hey, that's how they get the young pussy over there. The reality is, you can come over here, get the same young pussy that's clean, not a fucking junkie, and hasn't been rid through by every guy on the block, right? Who'll give it a few rocks. So it's one of these things where it's about self-respect. End of the day. It's why I won't tolerate the bullshit of the Canadian government. I won't tolerate living in the society that's now Canada. It's not a better place. Like I tell the Filipinos here, don't go work in there. It's a lie. We just need slaves. Because when a Filipino goes from here to there, that's what they are. They're a slave. They're not able to send a lot of money home. I mean, it's not as bad as like in the Middle Eastern countries where it's like they take away your passport if you're a woman and you're coming back with a few STDs. STIs, sorry, modern terminology. But it's just as bad. They'll tell you you're going to make this, or you're going to make that, and you don't. Plus, it's also not even as easy for Filipinos because the Canadian government wants to make some bullshit story like, well, they won't go home. But yet they'll bring in 101 Indians. They'll bring in 101 Middle Eastern people who they won't go home. They don't want to go home. They are fleeing. They are refugee status. Or they're like Indian, where home sucks. Home is way worse than anything that could happen in Canada. That's why 4 of them living in a 1-bedroom studio is still living large in Canada. And then they're working at your Tim Hortons, or they're working at your fast food, they're working at your Walmart until they collectively together save enough money to go buy your local convenience stores, to go buy your local hotels. Like, Canada has become just insane in its policies. Yet a Filipino who they should know, Filipinos are really close to their family. Yeah, they'll go there and work, but they want to come back. They don't have any desire to stay in Canada, especially if they're in a big city and they're there long enough. They get homesick, and they definitely hide in their houses there in Canada because they understand, where the fuck are the guards everywhere? Why is there crime everywhere? When you're a 4'0" person, you gotta be worried about the junkies everywhere because they can really do damage to you, and that's what it is in Canada. So I tell these people, don't believe the lies. Don't go and give up a huge amount of money, because 200,000 pesos, which for us is like, fuck, $4,000, it's not that much. End of the day. But to them, it's a lot. It takes a family to pool together huge amounts of resources to send one person, because that's the fee that these placement agencies charge them to go be sex slaves and have bad situations in the Middle East, or to go be a super slave servant in Canada or Europe. If you're a nurse, you might be okay. That's one thing I tell Filipinos, especially younger ones, take nursing. Nursing is the one exception to everything I just said. You have a nursing papers, you're useful everywhere in the world, because humans are humans are humans, and the whole world is hurting for nurses. Especially as the West, where it's got a very aging population and an incredibly unhealthy population. I mean, the average 40-year-old now has the diabetes. Now, is that from the jab? No, that's from the bad food. That's from the sitting on your ass. That's what that's from. So, I didn't want to go into the 35-minute mark, but here I am. So I'm going to let you go. Really, people, like, follow, subscribe. You don't have to like this video. If you really think that I'm out to lunch, say it, comment it. I don't mind. The reality is I know I'm not. And if you have other questions, by all means, I'm happy to answer them. But just, like I said, get out of the West while you can. Come here, live for you. If you happen to bring along someone for the ride, great. Be a male or female, but you weren't born to be some female's retirement plan. You didn't come here to fix someone's past for their mistakes. You don't owe her nothing. You're not her therapist. You're not her savior. You're not her daddy or her you're her daddy, but you're not her father figure. They don't want to learn. They're happy in their ignorant, childlike state, and all you're going to do is become more of a man who's just a resource to drain until they get rid of you. They're not going to change for you. And the thing I've discovered here is there are good girls. My girl is ridiculously good morally, but a majority of them are not. A majority of them will sell their videos, will do horribly crazy bad shit for dollars. Because they're so freaking poor, they don't have a choice. And I think it's pretty exploitive, but you're not taking away anyone's innocence. So if you are one of those guys who partakes in that, I don't hate on you. Do what you do. They need to eat too. But don't break yourself every single month when you get here. Don't keep saying yes when it's so much easier and smarter to say no. And if you don't want to have kids, get a vasectomy before you come. It's free in North America, in Canada at least. I mean, I'm sure in the States it can't be that expensive. It doesn't affect your performance if you can still perform, but if you're in your 60s or 70s, that shouldn't even be an option anymore that you are focused on. If you have to take Viagra every single time to get a boner, that's the powers that be's way of saying that part of your life is over. Quit putting that into your diet that's stressing you out and making it so you're broke all the time chasing your youth. And if you're one of those guys, and I have a lot of friends like this who were losers as young men, they didn't get to enjoy the flowers and the cake. They had to, stick with their hand mostly, or settle for an ugly broad because at least she was saying yes. So when they get rich and they're all of a sudden single, and when I say rich, I just mean like they over here rich. They don't even have to be rich at home. It goes to their head and they want to try and relive their youth. All you're doing is making yourself a bigger target because these girls have a sixth sense of figuring that out about you. So you got to stay the champ. You got to stay solid to yourself. So subscribe. I'll do one of these kinds of rants maybe once a week based on other videos, because I think that the way other people do their videos about other videos, like say Sad Grandpa, second call out to you there, buddy. Keep calling you up saying, you want to talk about me, I'll talk back. But he's just spreading hate and disinformation. I didn't get any huge donations from anybody from Sunshine Shoulders. One guy, way back in the day, did finance some of the bar to like a couple $100, which I used for tables and chairs, and one of the tables has his name on it, which I told him I would do as like a little honor thing. But I'm not looking for huge donations from anybody. I'm not trying to swindle anybody. And also, swindling is what these women do. So anyone who hates, like Sad Grandpa, about bloggers trying to make money or asking for donations is ridiculously laughable. I don't know how many, I don't get as many because I changed my WhatsApp number, but I don't know how many I was getting a week, sometimes like 30 or 40 requests from these random Filipinas who would send nude videos, who would send nude pics. Can you help me? My baby needs to eat. Oh, can you help me just for rice so I can buy rice? Why the frick would I be buying videos and pictures? No. I live it. I don't want to watch it on the screen. And there are guys who didn't get to live it, who don't live it, and they're back home miserable and they're using their hand when they can, or they're dreaming about that one they're chatting with now for a year and they've sent her $10,000 or $20,000. Well, there was one on Tofu the other day who gave her like $140,000. Chump. Chump is what those people need to have written on their fucking foreheads. And their children should be getting power of attorney to make sure they can't spend any money without knowing what it's for, because they have clearly shown to be ridiculously irresponsible and no longer of fit mind to make financial decisions. If you're thinking that much with your cock, you're fucking around with your head. You gotta stop. So, don't be a man who's just a resource to drain here. Be a man who has had enough of the West, wants to enjoy his twilight years, wants to live in a better climate with nicer people, eat better food, and that's what the Philippines is about. So good luck. I know I'm going to get some feedback on this video, and it's not going to be positive, because the positive people are just nodding as I'm talking. They don't type up good things. I mean, I have a few, but it's going to be the haters, the people who are the simps, who are, you don't understand love. Anyways, we're getting to the 40-minute mark. I don't want that. Too damn long. Like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell for new videos. Sharing is caring, but not your personal information online, and definitely not your money with your Filipina woman and every Dom, Dick, and Harry she's related to. Say no.